The Chinese have announced plans to go to the moon, and they are on track to surpass the US in achieving this milestone. Last year, NASA acknowledged that their timeline for lunar exploration is falling behind China's. In this context, renowned scientist Michio Kaku shares China's extraordinary lunar discoveries and takes us on an unforgettable journey through the cosmos. What groundbreaking revelation might this month bring? And how will it alter our understanding of the universe? Join us as we explore how humans will soon set foot on the moon and embark on a journey around the lunar surface and beyond. The moon, our closest celestial neighbor, has always been shrouded in mystery. Recent discoveries by Chinese researchers are beginning to answer some of the biggest questions about the moon. Not long ago, China launched an unmanned spacecraft to explore the moon's vast dark region, visible from Earth, called the Ocean of Storms, Mare Imbrium. The spacecraft, Chang'e 5, landed near a massive mountain on the moon known as Mount La. For the first time in nearly 50 years, a spacecraft successfully collected lunar samples and returned them to Earth. The last time this happened was in 1976 during the Soviet Union's space missions. Many scientists once believed that all water on the moon evaporated due to the heat from its formation over 4 billion years ago. However, this was proven wrong. There is a substantial amount of frozen water on the moon, mostly found at its poles, which are perpetually in shadow. NASA plans to send astronauts to this region, as access to these water reserves will be crucial for future lunar missions. Chang'e 5 didn't just confirm the presence of water. It also returned over 60 ounces of lunar soil and rock samples rich in rare minerals such as chondrites and helium-3. But the discoveries didn't stop there. Chang'e 5 also used onboard instruments to measure and analyze the moon's surface before returning to Earth, revealing that water might exist even on the moon's surface. This raised a major question. Where does this water come from? Some scientists speculate it might have been delivered by solar winds, while others propose the possibility of hidden water deposits deep within the moon's surface. The answer may lie in lunar samples collected from the moon's northwest side by the Chang'e 5 mission. According to reports from Chinese and European scientists, these samples contain small glass beads of various colors, created by the intense heat of meteoroid impacts. The most intriguing aspect is that these glass beads contain water. Yes, you heard that right, there is water on the moon. Researchers from the Chinese Academy of Sciences have found that these beads contain approximately 2,000 kilograms of water per ton of lunar soil. Remarkably, these glass beads can be found across the moon, from its equator to its poles, as the moon has been bombarded by meteors throughout its history. While scientists believe that the water on the moon is mostly in the form of hydroxyl groups, it is also found in molecular form. Estimates suggest that up to 270 billion tons of water could be trapped in these glass beads. In 2010, NASA estimated that the moon's polar regions contained about 600 million tons of ice, but these new findings suggest the presence of even larger reserves. This water could play a pivotal role in future lunar exploration and long-term human presence on the moon. The lunar samples returned by Chang'e 5 are smaller than those collected by the US Apollo missions or Soviet robotic spacecraft. However, recent studies show that the glass beads likely formed during meteoroid impacts around 68 million years ago, coinciding with the asteroid impact event that wiped out the dinosaurs. So, how did water get into these lunar crystals? Researchers believe it may be due to the sun's hydrogen atoms interacting with the glass beads, causing water to form when the beads heat up. The release of hydrogen from these beads could play a key role in the moon's water cycle. These discoveries are causing scientists to rethink the moon's potential for supporting human life. Could water on the moon provide a sustainable resource for astronauts on long-term missions? A research team from the Institute of Geophysics and Geochemistry of the Chinese Academy of Sciences conducted an in-depth study of the data. They found signs of water, including hydrogen H2 molecules, in the Chang'e 5 samples. According to Matt S. from the Planetary Science Institute in Tucson, Arizona, these findings suggest that there may be more water on the moon than previously thought. This revelation challenges the idea that the moon is a barren, waterless wasteland, a concept that has persisted since the Apollo astronauts first visited in 1969. The discovery that there is water on the moon, and that it might be more abundant than expected, is a significant breakthrough. Meanwhile, the Indian space research organization Chandrayaan-1 mission has also detected signs of hydration on the Moon's surface, though it's still unclear whether this is water or a similar compound like hydroxyl. In recent months, China's Chang'e 5 lunar lander also detected water in the nearby planetary system. NASA is preparing to announce their own findings on lunar water, using the Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy to capture signals from specific water frequencies. These discoveries suggest that water on the lunar surface may be much more abundant than previously imagined, opening up new possibilities for future lunar missions and the exploration of deep space. Helium-3 is a rare and fascinating element that has recently garnered attention, particularly after being found in samples from the Chang'e 5 lunar mission. Although helium-3 is uncommon on Earth, it is believed to be abundant on the Moon, having accumulated over millennia thanks to the solar wind. This discovery holds significant potential, as helium-3 is considered a potential fuel for nuclear fusion, which could revolutionize clean and efficient energy production on Earth. Nuclear fusion occurs when two light atoms merge at extremely high temperatures to form a heavier atom, much like the process that powers stars. However, scientists have struggled to replicate this reaction in a controlled way that produces more energy than it consumes. What makes helium-3 an attractive option for fusion is that it generates less radioactive waste and fewer harmful byproducts compared to other fuels, such as uranium, which is currently used in nuclear power plants. If we can harness helium-3 for fusion instead of fission, it could lead to a much cleaner, safer, and more efficient energy source. The discovery of helium-3 on the Moon has sparked interest worldwide, with nations and private organizations, including the United States and China, exploring the possibility of mining it from the lunar surface. China's recent identification of new helium-3 reserves has intensified the race for lunar resources, signaling the dawn of an era where lunar mining could become a reality. The Moon, once simply a celestial body in the sky, is now seen as a potential energy powerhouse for our future. However, while the potential is immense, there is still much to learn. The Chang'e 6 mission, scheduled for 2024, aims to collect samples from the far side of the Moon, which remains hidden from our view. Though it's too early to put a price on helium-3, its value is expected to be high. One intriguing fact is that just 25 tons of helium-3, roughly the size of a parking garage, could provide enough energy to power the entire United States for a year, with an estimated cost of $3 billion per ton. This discovery could fuel competition in space as countries and companies vie for control of lunar resources. It's not just about energy, though. Other unexpected findings have emerged from lunar missions. For example, during the Chang'e 4 mission in 2019, researchers discovered a mysterious gel-like substance with unusual colors. Initially, the rover had planned to hibernate, but scientists quickly decided to investigate the strange objects. Using its visible and near-infrared spectrometer, the rover analyzed the material and its surroundings to determine its composition. The nature of this substance remains unclear, but there is speculation that it could be a form of glass created by meteorite impacts. Scientists believe the high heat from such impacts could cause the lunar regolith to fuse into a glossy, glass-like material. If this theory is correct, the discovery could hold important implications, especially if the material contains ice, which would be a valuable resource. Some researchers also suggest that the gel-like substance might simply be moon dust that has transformed into glass under extreme heat. This isn't the first time unusual materials have been spotted on the Moon. During the Apollo 17 mission in 1972, astronauts discovered orange soil, which was later determined to be the result of volcanic activity that occurred billions of years ago. Could this new material be another remnant of such an event? The investigation is ongoing, and scientists are eager to uncover the truth behind these strange lunar findings. As research continues, we can expect more groundbreaking discoveries that may change our understanding of the Moon and its resources. The competition for helium-3 and other lunar materials is just beginning, and it promises to be an exciting new chapter. Recent investigations have consistently pointed to the presence of water on the Moon, but it was China's Chang'e 5 mission that truly changed the game. Geologist Matt Searcher emphasized that the subsequent spectral reflectance data must be carefully adjusted for temperature to determine the amount of water present. However, The real challenge lies in determining the temperature of the moon's surface from vast distances. This is what makes Chang'e 5's mission so exceptional. It can directly measure temperature by landing on the moon, eliminating uncertainties. That said, don't expect to see flowing rivers or shimmering lakes on the lunar surface. Chang'e 5 uncovered a small water reservoir hidden within the lunar soil, in a region unexpectedly named Venus Procerum. Scientists believe this water could have formed as a result of the solar wind. A stream of charged particles emitted by the sun. Water is created when hydrogen molecules from the solar wind interact with the moon's oxygen-rich soil and rocks. Interestingly, more water was detected in the lunar rocks of the same region, pointing to another potential water source. But there's more to this discovery. Researchers have made a remarkable new finding, a fascinating solar system phenomenon that could influence Earth. The China National Space Administration (CNSA) has made headlines for its advancements in space exploration, competing with NASA. China has constructed space stations, completed numerous missions, and made groundbreaking discoveries that have astonished the scientific community. One such revelation is the moon theory, as discovered by physicist Michio Kaku. In 2020, lunar samples revealed crystals made from a previously unknown material. These crystals contain essential elements for nuclear fusion, the process that powers the sun and other stars. Following the discovery, the China National Space Administration and the China National Nuclear Corporation announced the identification of a new lunar material, called PAR, found by researchers from the Beijing Institute of Uranium Geology. This discovery was made while studying lunar samples collected by China's Chang'e 5 robotic mission. With this finding, China joined the ranks of the US and the former Soviet Union as the only countries to have discovered new materials on the moon. The Chang'e 5 mission was an extraordinary 23-day journey, marking one of China's most significant achievements in space exploration. After successfully recovering over 1.7 kilograms of lunar samples, the mission became the first lunar sample return mission since 1970. The lunar samples were divided into 21 groups and sent to researchers at 13 different labs for analysis in 31 different projects. This achievement solidified China's place in the history of space exploration as the third country, after the US and the Soviet Union, to discover lunar material. The mission also opened new doors for scientific research. Tiny lunar rocks, no bigger than human hair, could potentially unlock secrets of the moon's formation. These rocks, which formed during volcanic activity on the moon approximately 1.2 billion years ago, contain a rare element, helium-3. This discovery was such a significant breakthrough that it prompted Michio Kaku to share the news with the world. As the lunar samples are analyzed, Chinese teams eagerly await the next robotic mission to land on the moon, continuing the search for more lunar mysteries.